Welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy channel, Real Talk Reviews. Today we have a new one, and it follows up a really good old one, the Equinox Solid. This one obviously duller. For those of you who like the Equinox, obviously it's labeled as a great house ball. It was smooth, controllable, shiny. Most of the things you really want in league. For some people, that's just not enough. So what we have is A2S. It's finished at 2000. 248 low RG, 054 flares plenty, 018 big core, and we'll just start off like we always do. We are here at beautiful AMF Louisville lanes. And a surprise of all surprise, it's still a house shot. Get it right, still hooks. So, A2S is probably the closest thing I can compare this cover to off the top. It reminds me a little bit of the Absolute Power from a couple years ago. This is a big ball and it looks dull and it comes dull, but it's not super early. And we're gonna throw it up against a Gem and an Ion Max and some other balls that look like they're in that same category as this one. And I think you'll see the same thing I'm seeing. I have a shiny Hyperdrive, of course the original Equinox, but off that first shot, I moved about 10 left. Yeah, we'll move another 3 or 4 here. Every hit must be practice. Not the game. Not the game. Practice. What else can we talk about this? It comes out in mid-October. You can tell it's plenty big. I'll throw the Equinox early here so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. And I'll throw it from the same spot. Overall hook actually is not that much different on a house shot, but we get that a lot when we're talking about house shots. But what you can watch is the distance difference. This Equinox is going to be 3 to 4 feet earlier, probably easily. I need to move a little bit more left. And that you see as you get into oil, it's still coming off of it plenty hard. Slow down a little bit, we'll get further in. Still big smooth shape, but it didn't burn out in the front, which is what you see sometimes with the really big balls. For example, I'll go ahead and throw an Ion Max. And I'll throw it from the same spot as well, and the same speed. And you can tell there's quite a bit of oil. Here at Louisville, we're using the blue oil, which is one of Bolero's new 2 oils from Kegel, and it's the one that's the slicker one of the 2, and it plays plenty slick. So normally these big ball reviews are a little bit tough to do because you don't know exactly, because they hook a little bit too much, but there's actually plenty of oil in the lane right now. Go back to normal speed here. Oh. Left of left. Well, the one thing you don't see here is all strikes, not when I'm bowling. So, got that going for you. For those of you that like the Cove, okay, this is a better green than that is. And so I actually think this one looks pretty good. I think it's definitely a step down. Off the Ion Max, or say the Gem, which I'll throw that now. And drilling wise, this is the same as my Ion Max. And a Gem, the pin's right here in the middle finger. That was almost bad. This is a low. This is 5 by 3 by 4.5. So gem's just slightly higher than that. I'm actually a little surprised by that. I thought the gem might actually be a little cleaner and a little sharper off of it, but even it felt like it was a little earlier than this Equinox Solid. I guess it's a little bit different. This is a taller, I forgot, this is a taller 4.5. 4.5 by 4 by 2. So in theory, the drilling should also be stronger than the Equinox Solid. Well, the one thing that stands out between those two is the Ion Max is both more hook overall, and it's a little stronger off the spot. It's both earlier and a little sharper off of it. One thing this gives you is cleaner through the front, but still with the smooth part that you got from the original Equinox, you still have that down lane. Has it 9 pins. Hey, we're hitting all the points today. But it wasn't as sharp as the Ion Max was. I think this ball has a spot in my bag. I have a good feeling it's going to go to the Senior World Championships here in a couple of weeks as what I would call my 2-ball. Ion Max or Gem at that top slot is my heaviest, earliest rolling ball. This will be the ball below that before I get to maybe a shiny Hyperdrive or Rockstar, one of those balls there in the middle. We'll move just a touch more left. To where you really notice the difference off the spot. It's much smoother off the spot than say even the Ion Max is, which tend to come off of it harder. Now we'll throw a taller pin. Equinox, try and throw it from the same spot, give you an idea for those of you that liked this ball the first time around. See, way more responsive off the spot, and that ball's already smooth. For a shiny ball, that blends out the wet dry, you know, early on. This might be the ball that you go to in game 3 when it starts to get wet dry. You have to move left, but when you miss in, the Equinox is too long, your other shiny balls are too long. Often one of the biggest mistakes we make in league is when we see that friction and we move left, we end up going to a ball that's shinier. The problem is probably 70 to 80% of your pair played out to the right, made that part hook, so now that ratio that was fairly blended but high is now super high. So when you miss in, it goes long. When you miss right, it goes high. It seems counterintuitive, but as it goes on and the lane starts to break down more, you might need to ball up, and that's really where this ball might fit in. I'm gonna get around one a little bit just to see if we make it more responsive. And even with that, it still keeps its shape. It's still smooth and rounded. So this ball is going to even out the wet dry, and that's where it's going to be good. It's going to be good when the lanes are hard and the front hooks a little bit. You need it to roll, but you want to be able to keep it on line. And when the lanes get wet dry, you still need something bigger to roll in the oil. So 248, 054, 018, A2S cover stock. This one's a little cleaner through the front than a lot of the balls. I feel like a lot of times you throw those big balls and they pick up early and they flat 10. That's when this ball is going to come into play after those. So I think it's a nice step off. Realities, Gems, Origin EXs, Ion Max, all those are going to be pretty good. It's going to fit in between there, and then before that, then you'll get down to Phase 2s, Rockstars, and those balls in the middle range. So mid-October, this one comes out. Go see this, go look for this at your pro shop, and come back to Beef and Barnzy channel for more Real Talk reviews.